gluten-free. Then their food has to be very sterile. So some of that we buy still from out until we set up our This is an industry. Children can participate in it.
You talk about employment. What do you mean by employment?
You see, to create this mouse, for example, the ones that were created for COVID are not the same ones that we use for HIV or we use for Ebola or Marburg. Each has, you have to create. So that is a job of scientists. And we have started the course, actually. We're starting the course to train children, to train our young scientists to do this.
To do what?
At Makerere University.
To do what?
To modify these mice, to modify them. That is what we do in the lab. We modify their genes such that they can behave in a certain way. For example, the ones of COVID had to accept COVID virus to infect them. The normal mouse may get infected, but it doesn't fall sick from COVID, so we had to modify. The normal rat, this mouse cannot get infected. The normal one does not get infected with HIV and fall sick. So if I want to do experiments to test with HIV drugs or HIV vaccines, I have to change it genetically so that it has some human genes in it. So the work that is required, these are very high profile jobs. But also say you can set up and sell, just be a seller. So there are many jobs that can be created just by us. But in order to do that, you have to have market. That means you've developed your science, and there are science that are required.
What do you mean by this is a multi-million-dollar industry?
Because one, we told you when we were buying the original ones, do you know how much we paid?
How much did you pay?
Each one. Like 80 million each.
Yeah, the money we paid, and then we had to pay for the license.
You paid for the female and the male?
Yeah, we paid for 2 pairs. Initially, we had thought we would be able to get 8 from our money. We couldn't. We tried for a long time, nobody could sell us. And the only source we found, together with the license to multiply. So what Uganda bought was not 4 mice. What we bought was a license to have that genetically modified mouse be multiplied endlessly in our country. Otherwise, we would have to be going back to the supplier. Each time one dies, we go back. Each time one dies, we have to buy. And if you don't, go back and buy, because every time you have to account in your vaccine or in your experiments, you have to tell them where you got the mice. And so for us, everywhere we do something, we have to say, we bought this mice from so and so, and a license number, this. And now we have the freedom to endlessly use this mice.
Yeah, you're talking about a multi-million-dollar industry. How is it a multi-million-dollar?
I said multi-million. I said multi-million. Yeah, because the work to generate them is a lot of money. Then to sell them, there are people who want them. And like during COVID, the people who quickly created that one for COVID, they made a killing. Because we made the first order we made from China. After 6 months, they saw they couldn't meet the orders before. Because so many people had placed orders, and you know they are biological things, you have to multiply them. Nedda zino si mese nganda. Zino mese za njawulo nnyo, and this is a whole industry, multi-million-dollar industry. But in that lab animal house, we want to build this.
You got them from which company?
These ones we imported them, the parents. Chirungi. Kirungi tetutegeera ekintu kitwogerako. Atolwaleero nabaleetedde okubalajako emmese zaffe ezimu zetukozesa mu laabu. Zino mmese za njawulo nnyo, si mmese zaffe zetulaba mu nnyumba. Ate ezo tebaziyita mayisi. Tebaziyita mayisi. Newankubadde nga zonna mmese, ezo mu luzungu tuziyita rats. Biologically ziri different. The species ya njawulo nnyo. Kati zino emmese zetukozesa mu lisaaki yaffe.
Naye zino zetwakula waliwo zetuzibaali bali.
Bano baana.
Namba zetwagula zaatuuka ziriwa?
Zaatuuka. Kati ate twandibadde tulinazo wano. Bano baana you multiply. Emmese ebeerawo, life span y'emmese is like how many months? Sagala kubawa data tali accurate. But naye teweza mwaka. Kati zino tulina okuzimaintaininga era kati muno bwe babuzaayo tugenda kukola tetuyita sacrifice. Tugenda kubuzaayo. Emmere yaazo eno. Simanyi oba waliwo abazikola wano. Sagala kulimba bannasayansi bennyini abazikola nabo.
Omaze etya nga tizina mmere zino okulya ki?
Bazikolera.
English.
Once we have established, but the neighboring countries have not yet developed their vaccine research and drugs. But our need is a lot, because for each experiment, we will need like 150